start going?
Yep.
All right, you can go now. I'll ring Amanda when I'm finished, and she can ring you. Devil's Manifesto. This is for atheists, this is for the religious people, this is for everyone that speaks English, especially the young. I'm going to show how people from the Bible have created meanings in different words. You'll see the sexiness and shadiness of words. And it will become apparent what the human spirit thinks of these Bible people and words. But first I'm going to tell you about God. Before you cringe, think about what I'm going to say. God has been in my head since the 10th of July, 1999. God just won't leave me alone after this. Through dreams, visions and lucid dreams, God went out of his way to fuck my life, and I just went along with it. In the last 26 years, I've learned everything God wants for us in the future. I've spent most of it alone, drunk. I'll get back to that, but here is a description of God. God is all powerful. They got that right. He isn't so all good though. Far from it, if you haven't noticed. Humans have no free will at all. Nothing does. God controls humans, animals, insects and fish. Reality is just a four-dimensional projection like movie film, already filmed. Reality is much more like the Matrix than most people realise. And that's all even God can manage. There is no afterlife of heaven or hell. When you die, your soul or spirit is absorbed by God again, just like a raindrop falls into the ocean being God. There is no personhood after death, only God is immortal. We're just figments and characters in God's projection of reality. If you're wondering who the hell I think I am, I'll put it in Kurt Cobain's words. I just turned black, so hey, wait, I've got a real complaint, forever in debt to my priceless advice. Yes, I've got some priceless advice. Everyone writes songs about me, well some do. I'll get back to music later. Now I'll say what's to be said about Bible people and words and what they mean to the human spirit. I'll start on a pretty benign one. First, but they get progressively funnier and more blatant. First, Moses, where we get the old Western word to mosey, to go on a long, slow journey. That's nothing much, right? They get a lot funnier after that one. Next we have Job, or Job. I don't see why it's Job, it says Job. Anyway, that's where we get the word job, as in to work. Job gets fucked over by the owner God and the general manager Satan, because they have a bet. And Job is such a shit story that's why mothers call their infants poo jobbies, because the human spirit thought the Job story was shit for children. Next we get good old Lot of Genesis. We get the concept of the lot, everything, the lot. And this is based off a guy whose claim to fame was having drunken sex with his virgin daughters. The human spirit was so impressed with Lot and his girls, we made him the lot. As you'll see following, most of after this is negative. Then we get the word holy, where we get the word whole. But there's three holes in particular, mouth, vagina and anus, all the holy holes. And if you put a W at the front of whole, you get everything, like Lot. Human spirit loves sex. Then the word Bible itself, or Bible, gives us the word bib, so infants don't make a mess. The human spirit is unimpressed with the Bible. What about the word lust? That's basically a Bible word. Well, we of the spirit love lust, where we get the word illustrious. Someone has an illustrious career. Really the most illustrious people are sex addicts and prostitutes. The human spirit doesn't care. Conversely, from pure we get the word puerile, which means childish. Human spirit doesn't like purity unless you're talking drugs. Now we come to the star of the fucking Bible, Jesus. We get the term sus. Walking on water sounds a little sus. Turning water into wine, a little suspect. Feeding 5,000 families with a couple of fish and pieces of bread, definitely sus. Raising from the dead after a couple of days, it doesn't get much more sus or suspect. So the human spirit thinks Jesus and his adventures are some sus shit. Then the word sorcerer. Then like a word sorcerer, you can spell Jesus backwards and you get sausage, or sausage to be precise. That's where the saying, you silly sausage comes from, to pay it on Christians. They gave their sausage to Jesus instead of the women folk. And female Christians are losing the sausage they should be getting to Jesus too. It gets worse for the biggest prick in the Bible, St. Paul. We get the word appalling. The human spirit finds Paul to be appalling. His hatred, hang-ups, and ridiculous attitude also give us the words pallbearer, because Paul just won't put Jesus' dead, rotting corpse down. He is the pallbearer. Paul was literally the worst person who ever lived. I think now I should tell about some of the more important dreams I've had over the years since '99. First, it started with me waking up in the passenger seat of my car, flying down the country highway. No one was driving. Then I looked into the rear view mirror and a black skull in flames sucked me through the mirror into space. I was floating through space and I went past what appeared to be a giant clock. And beyond that was God. What looks like a big black obelisk, just like the black obelisk in 2001: A Space Odyssey. Then I saw the black shape. When I saw the black shape, I yelled out, "That's my stereo." Then instantly I was back in my bed awake and lightning was going through me, just like Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi and the Emperor zaps him. So I'm getting electrocuted by God. Then I gaze up beside the bed and there's a demon made of rags with glowing green eyes. I think it was Ragnarok. So I soon began to realise people had written songs about me and the end of the night. That's where we are in now, the end of the night. The night started at the beginning of the ADs. That's why a payout in Italians is causing them dagos. The reason is simple. In the early ADs, the Romans took on Christianity and spread it. Therefore the night comes and the day goes. It changes every 2,000 years. Night, day forever. Night is a time of violence. The day is a time for the spirit and sex. I'll get into some of these songs and artists a bit later. Another dream that soon followed was where I started to feel that God was communicating with me. I was at the bottom of my parents' driveway and my father was there. I pointed to a big tree further up the road, but this tree was in trouble. It was hanging over the high tension power lines, looking like it might fall onto the road, onto the lines. I asked my father, should we push it over? And he looked at me with uttermost seriousness. No, that tree is nature. Our power needs are killing the planet. Then I turned to go up the driveway with father, but on the letterbox was the number 365, the number of the Gnostic god Abraxas. Abraxas is the name God goes by now. We must save nature or we're fucked. Next dream was me at 27, which I was at the time, being very angry in my childhood home. There were all these children demolishing the house like we're demolishing God's planet. I went to the kitchen and opened the fridge and there was a bottle of beer. I wanted it, but my auntie closed the door and I couldn't get it. That's just a family drama. But I went out into the living room and sat down beside my dad and he said with eyes like black holes, "You must leave this place, I'll give you 2,000. So I had to leave the land of the living, yet experienced, as Hendrix put it. Hendrix's song, Are You Experienced, is about me. The funniest part of the song is the last verse where he says, "Trumpets and violins I can hear in the distance. I think they're calling our name. Maybe now you can't hear them, but you will, ha, if you just take hold of my hand." So are you experienced? After 26 years, I'm fully experienced. A lot of Hendrix songs are about me. Voodoo Child's Slight Return, and the last or second verse is, "I hate to take up all your sweet time. I'll give it right back one of these days." Orianthi, the female blues guitarist, won't even sing the second verse of Voodoo Child out of respect for me. Before I get into more music and dreams and what God wants from society, I'll finish talking about that fool Jesus and the Adam and Eve fall story, which absolutely no one gets. But when you do, it'll change your whole perspective on life. God, it shits me to see college students say that they think Jesus was a great mind or something. The guy was a clown. What he said was not cool for the human spirit. That's the night itself a disaster. Jesus said, "Rip your eye out if you perv. Fuck that. Cut your hand off if you wank. Fuck you, Jesus." Most people don't know that he basically told you to cut your balls off and make yourself a eunuch for the kingdom. He actually said that. Great stuff of the human spirit, not. Maybe that's why Jesus never got a stiffy, because he cut his balls off for the kingdom. I think Jesus and his merry men were a little happier than most guys, if you get what I mean. 13 blokes and a prostitute hanging out. None ever known to have had a girlfriend or wife. It's a little gay. People have such a one-dimensional view of people in the Bible. Real people have sex lives, even back then. I think slapping the other cheek was a bit sus. Who goes around slapping people's cheeks? Other cheeks might get turned and slapped though. And Jesus did some other gay shit too. Get behind me, Satan. If Satan gets behind you, Jesus, you'll smite both cheeks and enter your soul. Who the fuck guy says get behind me, and Satan especially? You may as well say get behind me, Big Daddy. As for anything else Jesus said, to me the Sermon on the Mount was nothing but meaningless waffle. People like the idea of Jesus because he healed people. You think a fool who would ask you to cut your balls off for God healed anything? I think the boys were just a bit gay, and they didn't let Paul play. He hated everything that came. I think that's enough of the silly sausage. And Adam and Eve. No one gets the underlying message of the fall. We have Eve with her apples. One of them, the apple of the life, the vagina or pink lady apple. Then there's this little brown apple, more like a plum. This is the apple of the knowledge of good and evil, or the anus. The story is Eve was tempted by Satan the snake. Satan the snake was Adam's erection. And all Satan really is an erect penis and the sexual, basically satanic thoughts you get when you have a painful erection. Nothing that bad really, mainly about where you wish you could stick it. So Adam buggered Eve and several things happened. Adam thought, this is cool, there's no future in this. That is children. Plus the skin on these apples was tight, good stuff. Adam did the world's first analysis. Think about the word analyse. To work something out, we have to fuck it up the arse. Analyse it.